500-year-old Japanese art that turns broken pottery into something more valuable than the original. The cracks aren't hidden, they're filled with gold. And what emerges is more beautiful, more precious, more powerful than what existed before it shattered. Do you know the tragedy? Most people spend their entire lives trying to hide their cracks, pretending they were never broken, ashamed of their scars. But what if your deepest pain, your worst failure, your most devastating moment wasn't the end of your story? What if it was just the beginning? The Japanese discovered something 500 years ago that modern psychology is only now beginning to understand. There's a specific process that doesn't just heal brokenness, it transforms it into strength. They call it Kintsugi, the art of golden repair. And when you understand how it works, you'll never look at pain the same way again. But here's what nobody tells you. Most people break and stay broken. They glue themselves back together hastily, trying to look whole, but they remain fragile, terrified of breaking again. The difference between those who transform their pain into power and those who let it destroy them comes down to one thing. And I'm going to show you exactly what that is. Before I tell you the story of a woman who lost everything and used Kintsugi to become more powerful than she ever imagined, I invite you to subscribe to the channel, leave a like below, and comment. What's the most painful experience you've transformed into strength? This helps me understand you better and bring you even better content. Now, back to the video. Chapter 1, The Breaking, 0.45-430. Elena was 38 years old when her world shattered into 1,000 pieces. She had built what looked like a perfect life, 15 years of marriage to David, 2 beautiful children, a comfortable home in the suburbs, a stable job as a project manager at a tech company. From the outside, everything seemed whole, complete, unbreakable. But on a Tuesday afternoon in March, David sat across from her at their kitchen table and said 6 words that changed everything. "I'm in love with someone else." The affair had been going on for 8 months. Her best friend had known for 6. His family had known for 4. Elena was the last to find out. The humiliation was almost worse than the betrayal. Within 3 months, David had moved out. Within 6 months, the divorce was finalized. Within 8 months, Elena was living in a small apartment, sharing custody of her children, watching them pack their bags every other weekend to go stay with their father and his new girlfriend in the house that used to be hers. But the breaking didn't stop there. 2 months after the divorce was finalized, Elena's company underwent massive restructuring. Her entire department was eliminated. 15 years of loyalty, of late nights, of sacrificed weekends, gone in a single meeting. She received a severance package and a handshake. Elena sat alone in her apartment that night, surrounded by half-unpacked boxes, staring at the severance letter. And she felt something she'd never felt before in her entire life. Complete emptiness. She wasn't sad, she wasn't angry, she wasn't anything. She was just broken, shattered. A pile of pieces that used to be a person. That night, Elena made a decision. She was going to end it all. She wrote letters to her children. She organized her financial documents. She made a plan. But before executing it, something strange happened. A memory surfaced from years ago, a trip to Japan she'd taken in her 20s, before marriage, before children, when she was a different person entirely. She remembered visiting a small pottery shop in Kyoto. The elderly woman who owned it had shown her a tea bowl, beautiful beyond description, covered in gold veins that traced every crack and break in the ceramic. The woman had explained in broken English, "Kintsugi, golden repair, bowl break, bowl become more beautiful, more strong, more precious." Elena had bought the bowl. It was still packed somewhere in one of these boxes. She spent the next hour searching through every box until she found it, wrapped carefully in tissue paper. She held it up to the light, tracing the golden veins with her finger. And for the first time in months, she felt something other than emptiness. She felt curiosity. If a broken bowl could become more valuable than an unbroken one, what did that mean for a broken person? That question saved her life. Chapter 2, The Search for Gold, 4:30-9:15. The next morning, Elena didn't go through with her plan. Instead, she did something she hadn't done in months. She got dressed, left her apartment, and went to the library. She needed to understand Kintsugi. not just as an art form but as a philosophy. There had to be something deeper there, something that explained why the Japanese didn't simply glue broken pottery back together and pretend it had never broken. What she discovered changed everything. Kintsugi emerged in 15th century Japan when a powerful shogun broke his favorite tea bowl. He sent it to China for repair, but when it returned, it had been fixed with ugly metal staples. The shogun was disappointed, so he commissioned Japanese craftsmen to find a better way. Instead of hiding the damage, they decided to highlight it. They mixed lacquer with powdered gold and used it to piece the bowl back together. The golden seams didn't hide the breaks. They celebrated them. They transformed the damage into the most beautiful part of the object. But it wasn't just about aesthetics. Elena learned that Kintsugi was deeply connected to 3 Japanese philosophical concepts. Motenai, regret over waste. Nothing is beyond repair. Nothing should be discarded simply because it's broken. Version, acceptance without judgment. The bowl broke, that's reality. There's no shame in it. There's no need to pretend it didn't happen. Wabi-sabi, finding beauty in imperfection. The cracks make the object unique. They tell its story. They prove it has lived. Elena sat in the library for hours, reading everything she could find, and slowly a framework began to emerge in her mind. Kintsugi wasn't just about pottery. It was a process for transforming any kind of breaking into a source of strength and beauty. But there was a crucial element that most people missed. You couldn't just pour gold over your pain and expect it to magically transform. There was a specific process, a sequence of steps that had to happen in the right order. Elena pulled out a notebook and began to write. She was going to map out the Kintsugi process for human healing, and then she was going to apply it to her own shattered life. Chapter 3, The Process, Accepting the Breaking, 9/15/1345. The first step in Kintsugi is the hardest. You have to gather all the pieces. In pottery, this means finding every single fragment, no matter how small. You don't ignore the tiny shards, you don't sweep them away. You collect everything because every piece matters. For Elena, this meant something terrifying. She had to stop pretending she was okay. She had to stop telling herself that the divorce didn't hurt, that losing her job was actually a blessing, that she was handling everything fine. She had to look directly at every broken piece of her life and acknowledge it. So she made a list, not a gratitude list, not a positive affirmations list, a breaking list, everything that had shattered. Trust in her marriage, belief in her judgment, confidence in her career, financial security, her identity as a wife, her identity as a professional, her sense of home, her faith in friendship, her belief that hard work leads to stability, her assumption that being good meant being protected from pain. The list was longer than she expected. 23 items, 23 fragments of who she used to be. Most people never do this step. They rush to healing. They jump straight to everything happens for a reason, and I'm better off now, and I'm choosing to focus on the positive. But you can't repair what you won't acknowledge is broken. Elena learned that in traditional Kintsugi, there's a waiting period after the breaking. The craftsman doesn't immediately start gluing. They sit with the pieces. They study them. They understand how the object broke and why. This isn't about dwelling in victimhood. It's about radical acceptance. The Japanese concept of mushin, seeing reality exactly as it is, without adding layers of shame, denial, or false optimism on top. Elena spent 2 weeks with her list. Every day she would read through it, and instead of trying to minimize or explain away each item, she would simply say, "This broke, this is real, this happened." No, but at least to know maybe it's for the best, just acknowledgement. And something unexpected happened. The acknowledgement didn't make the pain worse, it made it clearer, more defined, less overwhelming. When you name your pain specifically, it stops being an undefined monster lurking in the shadows. It becomes something you can actually work with. By the end of 2 weeks, Elena was ready for the next step. Chapter 4, Preparing the Gold, 1345-1830. In Kintsugi, before you can repair anything, you have to prepare the lacquer. Traditional urushi lacquer takes weeks to properly prepare. It requires patience, precision, and the right conditions. You can't rush this step. If you use cheap glue or skip the preparation, the repair won't hold. The bowl will break again at the same places. Elena realized that the gold in human kintsugi isn't some external force. It's not time that heals all wounds. It's not a new relationship or a new job or a fresh start. The gold is something you have to create yourself from your pain. But how? She found her answer in the research of Dr. Richard Tedeschi and Dr. Lawrence Calhoun, two psychologists who spent decades studying something called post-traumatic growth. They discovered that people who experienced severe trauma often emerged not just healed, but transformed in 5 specific ways. 1, greater appreciation for life. Small things become precious. 2, deeper relationships. Superficial connections fall away. 3, increased personal strength. If I survived that, I can survive anything. 4, new possibilities. Doors that were never visible before open. 5, spiritual development. Deeper meaning and purpose emerge. But here's the critical finding. Post-traumatic growth doesn't happen automatically. It requires active processing. You have to deliberately extract wisdom, strength, and growth from your pain. Elena created what she called her gold extraction process. Every day she would take 1 item from her breaking list and ask 3 questions. Question 1. What did this break teach me that I couldn't have learned any other way? The broken trust in her marriage taught her that she had ignored red flags for years, prioritizing comfort over honesty. That was painful to admit, but it was gold. It meant she would never make that mistake again. Question 2. What strength did I develop by surviving this? Losing her job taught her that her identity was separate from her role. She had value beyond her productivity. That realization was gold. Question 3. What new possibility does this breaking create? The divorce created space for her to remember who she was before she became someone's wife, someone's mother, someone's employee. That space was terrifying, but it was also gold. She could become whoever she chose to be now. This process took 6 weeks. Some days Elena couldn't find the gold. The pain was just pain, but she trusted the process. She kept showing up. She kept asking the questions. And slowly, item by item, she began extracting gold from every single breaking. The gold wasn't that everything happened for a reason. The gold was what she was choosing to make from what happened. That's the difference. You don't find meaning in suffering. You create meaning from suffering. Chapter 5, The Repair, 1830-24. In Kintsugi, the actual repair is meticulous. Each piece must be fitted exactly into place. The gold lacquer is applied with precision. The craftsman works slowly, allowing each layer to dry before adding the next. There's no rushing. There's no skipping steps, and most importantly, the gold doesn't hide the cracks. It makes them visible, beautiful, and integral to the new form. Elena began rebuilding her life piece by piece, but not the way she had lived before. She wasn't trying to recreate what broke. She was creating something new, using the gold she'd extracted from her pain. Piece 1, her relationship with herself. Before the breaking, Elena had defined herself through others. She was David's wife, her children's mother, her company's project manager. When those roles shattered, she discovered she had no idea who Elena actually was. The gold here was self-definition. She started therapy, she started journaling. She asked herself questions she'd avoided for 38 years. What do I actually value? What do I want? Not what I think I should want. What brings me alive? She discovered she loved ceramics. The irony wasn't lost on her. She enrolled in a pottery class. For the first time in years, she was doing something purely because it lit her up inside, not because it served anyone else. Piece 2, her career. Before the breaking, Elena had climbed the corporate ladder because that's what success looked like. She'd never questioned whether it was actually fulfilling. The gold here was intentionality. She didn't rush to find another corporate job. Instead, she used her severance to take 3 months to explore. She did freelance project management. She consulted. She experimented. She discovered she loved helping small businesses organize their operations. She started her own consulting firm. It paid less at first, but the work meant something to her. She wasn't just filling a role. She was building something aligned with who she was becoming. Piece 3, her relationships. Before the breaking, Elena had maintained friendships out of obligation. The woman who knew about David's affair for 6 months and said nothing. Elena had spent years in that friendship, never noticing how one-sided it was. The gold here was discernment. Elena let go of relationships that didn't serve her. She stopped trying to be nice to everyone. She started being real with a few people. And those relationships deepened in ways she'd never experienced before. Piece 4, her parenting. This was the hardest piece. Her children were processing their own breaking. They were angry, confused, acting out. Before, Elena had tried to be the perfect mother, never showing weakness. The gold here was authenticity. She stopped pretending everything was fine. She told her children, age-appropriately, that she was struggling too, that it was okay to struggle, that brokenness doesn't mean failure, that they were all learning to rebuild together. Her relationship with her children deepened. They saw her as human, not just as mom. And when they inevitably face their own breakings in life, they'll remember that their mother showed them how to transform pain into power. Month by month, piece by piece, Elena was rebuilding. But she wasn't becoming who she was before. She was becoming someone new, someone marked by breaking, someone veined with gold. Chapter 6, The Transformation, 24/28/30. 1 year after that night, when Elena almost ended her life, she stood in her pottery studio surrounded by students. She was teaching a Kintsugi workshop. 15 people had gathered, each bringing a broken object that meant something to them. A bowl from a grandmother, a vase from a wedding, a mug from a first apartment. But Elena knew they weren't really there to repair pottery. They were there to learn how to repair themselves. As she demonstrated the process, carefully applying gold lacquer to a broken teacup, she explained what she'd learned. Kintsugi teaches us 3 truths that Western culture tries to deny. First, breaking is inevitable. Nothing survives life unbroken. Your relationships will break. Your plans will break. Your body will break. Your heart will break. This isn't pessimism. It's reality. Second, there's no going back to how things were before. When something breaks, even if you glue it back together perfectly, it's not the same object. The structure has changed at a molecular level. And that's okay. That's actually good. Because what emerges can be stronger and more beautiful than the original. Third, the breaking isn't a flaw in your story. It's the most important chapter. The cracks are where the light gets in. The cracks are where the gold goes. The cracks are what make you unique, valuable, powerful. One woman in the class, probably in her 50s, raised her hand. But what if you break so badly that you can't find all the pieces? What if parts of you are just gone? Elena smiled. She'd asked herself that same question. In Kintsugi, if you can't find a missing piece, you sculpt a new one from lacquer and gold. It doesn't match the original. It's not supposed to. The new piece is entirely gold, and it becomes the most striking part of the whole object. That's what we do with ourselves. The parts of you that broke and can't be recovered, you don't leave a hole. You fill that space with something entirely new, something made of gold, something that didn't exist before you broke. The woman nodded, tears in her eyes. Elena understood. She'd lost pieces of herself that would never come back. The naive trust in happily ever after. The belief that being good protects you from pain. The version of herself that had never faced real adversity. Those pieces were gone, and in their place she had built something new. Wisdom, resilience, compassion, self-definition, purpose. She was more valuable now than she had been unbroken. Not in spite of her breaking, but because of it. Chapter 7, The Science Behind the Gold, 28/30/31/45. What Elena discovered through experience, modern psychology and neuroscience, are now proving through research. Dr. Stephen Joseph, a psychologist who has studied trauma for over 25 years, found that when people are forced to question their fundamental assumptions about life due to trauma, their brains actually rewire. New neural pathways form. Old limiting beliefs get dismantled. A more complex, more resilient worldview emerges. But here's the critical finding. This only happens if you actively engage with the trauma. If you suppress it, deny it, or try to quickly move past it, you don't get the growth. You just get unprocessed pain that resurfaces later. The Kintsugi process, gathering the pieces, sitting with them, extracting gold, rebuilding with intention. This mirrors exactly what research shows creates post-traumatic growth. Dr. Viktor Frankl, who survived Nazi concentration camps, discovered that the people who found meaning in their suffering were the ones who survived. He wrote, "When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. Between stimulus and response there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response." The Japanese understood this 500 years ago. They knew that hiding damage makes objects weak, but acknowledging damage, highlighting it, integrating it as part of the object's beauty and identity makes it stronger. The same is true for humans. Chapter 8. You're breaking your gold, 3145-35. Let me ask you the question that matters. What are you carrying right now that's broken? Maybe it's a relationship that shattered. Maybe it's a dream that died. Maybe it's a version of yourself that no longer exists. Maybe it's trust that was betrayed. Maybe it's health that failed. Maybe it's a career that collapsed. Whatever it is, you have two choices. Choice 1. Hide the breaking. Glue yourself back together hastily. Pretend you were never damaged. Spend energy maintaining the illusion of wholeness. Live in fear of breaking again. This is what most people do, and it keeps them fragile, anxious, small. Choice 2. Apply Kintsugi. Gather every piece of what broke. Sit with the reality of your pain without judgment. Extract gold by asking what this breaking taught you, what strength it developed, what new possibilities it created. Rebuild intentionally, not trying to recreate what was, but creating something new. And make your cracks visible, not as shame, but as proof that you have lived, survived, and transformed. Elena chose the second path, and 2 years after her world shattered, she's not just healed. She's transformed. She runs a successful consulting business on her own terms. She teaches Kintsugi workshops that help others transform their pain. Her relationship with her children is deeper and more authentic than it ever was before. She's dating again, but now she knows her worth, she knows her boundaries, she knows herself. She's not unbroken, she's Kintsugi, marked by gold, more valuable because she broke. The most powerful people you'll ever meet aren't the ones who never broke. They're the ones who broke completely and chose to repair themselves with gold. So here's your invitation. Stop hiding your cracks, start extracting gold. Your pain isn't something to overcome and forget. It's raw material for transformation. The Japanese knew something that modern self-help culture forgets. Wholeness isn't the absence of breaking. Wholeness is breaking transformed into beauty, weakness transformed into strength, pain transformed into power. That's Kintsugi. That's your path forward, not back to who you were, but forward into who you're becoming. Closing, 35 Rise 3630. If this video changed how you see your own breaking, I invite you to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell so you don't miss future content. And tell me in the comments, what's the most painful experience you've transformed into strength? I also invite you to watch this video appearing on your screen now. Perhaps you'll learn things that can help you even more. Remember, your cracks aren't flaws, they're where the gold goes. You're not broken beyond repair. You're Kintsugi in progress. If you've watched this far, thank you very much for your attention. Until the next video.